Well, it's not uncommon for families to spend time together doing what they enjoy, and the Schatz family is no different. Of course, that has meant spending a lot of time at dirt tracks across the country over the years. It's also a North Dakota success story that started back in Minot and has grown to a point that none of them expected to reach. Brian Shawn has more in this week's Inside Track, brought to you by My Place Hotel.
But Donny is going to do it! He won!
For nearly 3 decades, Donny Schatz has been a household name in the sprint car world. 10 World of Outlaws titles, over 300 wins, and success beyond what they ever thought possible.
If anybody would have said that they were going to set out to do what we've accomplished, I'd say they were probably the most egotistical person on the planet and unrealistic. With any success, whether it's whatever number it is, you put it behind you when you go to bed that night and you focus on the next day, and that's what we do.
His father, Danny, was right there when Donny got started and didn't hesitate to give his son plain talk or a swift kick in the tail tank when he needed it. We sat down with both for an interview back in early June before Danny passed away from pancreatic cancer.
When you seen there was a problem, you didn't ignore the problem. You didn't sweep the problem under the rug, you addressed it. And that's what pushes you to get to that next level, and everything that he pushed helped. I might not have agreed with it at the time.
You have to be pretty straightforward as you go through life, and it doesn't do any good to beat around the bush, so we just address things kind of the way they are. Nothing comes easy.
If you're beat down, or how you attack it mentally. And he was always great with that. Obviously, learning that through business and the military and doing all the things that he's done. That's, what made us into a championship team.
Pretty basic. It's car I drove. All the shocks are pretty standard.
Now it's Donny's turn to take those lessons and mentor the next generation of drivers in the family. His 2 14-year-old nieces, Amelia and Layla, both started racing 305 sprint cars this summer.
Go-karts have been great. They've had some success in go-karts, but at some point you want them to get into something that's a lot safer, a little bigger, a little closer to home. I can help them in a sprint car. I feel like we have the knowledge and the success to know what to do.
He's the one that started us in it, and he keeps us going. I think it's cool to be able to do what, take after him, and I don't think I'll ever accomplish anything like he has, but I guess I can try and do my best.
He's taught us and my grandpa, honestly, they've both taught us that a lot of things that you can't do to make yourself look, bad.
I've always known they wanted to do it, just growing up around the shop and going to the races. And I think once we started racing go-karts, that's when I kind of knew I need to expect that we were going to get to this level at some point.
They pay attention to what's going on, and their uncle has helped them be in a situation where they try and understand the basics of running their car, whether it's a go-kart or a sprint car, and what it takes not to be a fool out there just smashing up equipment.
Most of the family was present when the two got behind the wheel and pushed off for the first time here in West Fargo, with some excitement and a little bit of angst. But the goal right now is simply to learn, grow, and get a little faster each time out. Well, that and trying to finish ahead of one another.
Sometimes we get after each other, but it's pretty fun.
I don't really get nervous. I know my mom probably does.
You don't want someone to start racing thinking, oh, we got to race for points and we got to race for this. How about we just go out there and ultimately we have fun, but we learn by everything we do. We're going to try to make it to where they get as many laps as they can and learn the most they can in a short amount of time.
The expectation is going to be unrealistic just because of who they are, and if they don't meet that expectation right away, it's unfortunately human nature for people to assume negativity towards it.
If there was any question of whether or not the two young drivers were ready for this step, they've answered them. Layla won a heat race and has a top 10 finish, while Amelia already has feature wins at I-90 Speedway, Norman County Raceway, and Red River Valley Speedway.
Give it up for number 1. It's Amelia Eisenschlag.
She is the youngest driver ever to take the checkered flag at this historic track. a title held by her Uncle Donny for 23 years.
I'd really like to get into a 410 one day. I like late models too. Hopefully we can get, once we get this down, we can maybe try some late model racing.
I think when you're such a close-knit family, it's hard not to get wrapped up and love the same things they love.
And even though Danny passed away this summer, what he started will continue on, with the same simple blueprint he created many years ago.
They're all hard workers, and I've learned that nothing is really just given. You have to work for what you want, and I'm really proud of all what they've done in their lives.
You got to work at it, you got to earn it, and I think these girls definitely understand that. So, and they're still motivated to want to do it. It's something they come out here and work on these things a lot. They take pride in it themselves, so that gives me a lot of pride to see them have that attitude towards it.
It's pretty cool that we've all stuck with it in all aspects of it. Nobody's given up. Everybody's kept going. Everybody's worked hard through the ups and downs. And that's just kind of how we were raised.
I think the only thing that I've tried to do is help them not stray from what it takes to focus on something and getting the job done.